Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Roots and Routes, the African Islamic tapestry. I'm your host, Muhammad Yusuf. Today's topic is one that touches the lives of nearly every young person today, even the adults, the social media. With billions of users worldwide, social media is a powerful tool, but it's also a double edged sword. Studies show that while social media can enhance connectivity and produce good educational content, it can also lead to issues like anxiety, depression, and loss of cultural identity. Imagine a young person inspired by Islamic teachings, scrolling through their feeds and finding motivation and guidance in the digital world. But with the same swipe, they can encounter negativity and distraction that can pull them away from their values. How do we then balance these incredible benefits and the potential pitfalls of social media for our youth? How can a platform that connects us to our faith today, how does it become a source of worry, a concern that could pull us away from our faith, culture, and community? Today, our guest is a successful Islamic social media content creator who will help us explore the double edged sword, the benefit, and the negative impact of social media on our youth. Without much ado, welcome, my brother, Dr. Hasan. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Brother Yusuf?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. How you doing, bro?
I am doing well. It's been a long time. It's been a
It
long
is.
time.
It is indeed. I remember the first time we had this type of conversation, you were a student then. And now, not just that, you are now a graduate and a doctor, you're now a father as well. So I think it's a double congratulations for you, brother.
Thank you.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Rabbil Alameen. May Allah put his barakah in everything for you. MashaAllah. Let's get into it. You became very popular while you were a doctor student, I mean, a student doctor. How were you able to cope? Your personal journey. How were you able to cope? Balancing your career, your study, and the popularity, the attention you were gaining from social media at the time.
In the beginning, it was a bit rough. I remember I would track everything from the likes, the comments, the messages, trying to reply to every message, trying to reply to every comment, trying to be more engaged. And I think that engagement is what actually caused my platform to grow. And it's very important in the growth of, social media accounts. But eventually, it started to overtake my studying, overtake my responsibilities in the house. And I just remember sitting in front of the phone for hours and hours, just like taken away by this TikTok. But there came a point where I just kind of, what's the word? What I really came out here for Nashville for was to go to dental school. That started to slip away from me. My grades were starting to decline. But at the same time, I felt like I was doing good with my deen, with the Quran. My social media is blowing. But I had to refocus and think about, all right, what is it that you really want? At the end of the day, you put that you are Dr. Faraj Hasan. And I remember talking to you a while back, and we had a conversation about this, and you said, listen, you already put your name out there as Dr. Faraj Hasan. If you do not focus, then you won't become Dr. Faraj Hasan. And now what? So I think that always played in the back of my mind. And I had to find a balance. And the way I did that was create a schedule. I would maybe go out on the weekends and record a bunch of content, Quranic content. Or when I was traveling, I would always record a bunch of Quran content, and I would compile it together. And then I would just post it. I wouldn't say I had a schedule for posting, but I would post it whenever I felt like I needed to post. I didn't respond to every message. I learned to filter, not saying that certain messages weren't important, but I couldn't respond to every salam alaikum, for instance.
Yeah.
I would read the message and say wa alaikum salam, to myself. I couldn't respond to every comment, so I would just leave one comment in the comment section, just saying thank you to everyone. So that's how I kind of balanced it with school after a while. But it took a minute, and
Took a minute.
I was affected by it, and I had to bounce back and learn from that experience.
Good, good. I mean, that's the like the downside of the whole thing. What are the positives? What are the things that made you, feel good when, with popularity, you get attention, you get a lot of stuff, yeah. So yeah, when it gets too much, it derailed you a little bit. But what are the some of the positives that you got from those, attention?
The positives were more like what others outside of the commenters and the people who were interacting with me on the platform were giving me, such as collaboration opportunities. And that was really good for me because I used to cook. Well, I cooked to the last day of dental school, but I used to cook to support my family. So I would go to class and then come home, turn the stove on and make plates for the students out here. And that's how I made my living because the money that we were getting for school wasn't enough to cover everything. You know, most students aren't married. I am married. So I had to make sure I take care of my family.
For sure.
Once the social media thing came, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewarded me. You know, when you do good, Allah rewards you. So He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, gave me opportunities to collab with different brands. And instead of me standing in the kitchen for 5 days trying to make some tacos or something to sell, I can just sit here for 5 minutes and create a video and post it and make $1,000. You know, for instance. So
Yeah.
I was able to have more time to myself to spend with family, and also do everything else that I wanted to do. Another thing was traveling. I was able to see a lot of the world. I went to Umrah for the first time in my life. I went to Gambia and I was able to interact with the orphans and raise money for the orphans. I've been to the Caribbean a lot. And I just got to see more of the world and see how people lived in different cultures. And that in turn made me appreciate what I had. Sometimes we look at ourselves and we just like, man, I wish I had that. I wish I was here. But then when you look at the people that are less fortunate than you, or people that have different struggles than you, and you think, man, would you like to take on that struggle and give them yours? And you're like, no, I'd rather deal with mine. So seeing the world, traveling, definitely was a part of who I am today, and was one of those pros of being on social media.
Good. That's a good one. But how were you able to balance your intention when the partnership offering started coming? How were you able to stay grounded to say, look, this thing that I'm doing is for Allah, it's for the sake of Allah. Whether the invite comes, whether the offer comes or not, I'm still gonna keep the how like when you're posting, do you think like do you have a problem challenging yourself? Am I being sincere now? But am I hoping this thing kind of blows up and other people kind of call me for some sort of promotion or something like that? How are you able to make sure your intention stays the same as to look? It's for Allah. It's not because I needed some advert offering or something like that.
All right. It gets a little tricky sometimes, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, the intention was 100% pure. I literally just sat in front of the camera like we're sitting now, and I pulled out my phone and recorded a video and said, you know what, this is so that Muslims that are on TikTok can have something to relate to, something to remind them of Allah, something that we can engage with and keep us on that path, right? And then the attention was bigger than I expected it to be. So then I kind of got caught up into that. And then I was like, you know what? Let me post another video. So I'm not sure if the second video that I posted is accepted because I was posting it looking for another response the way that the first one got a response. And then I got into this little, I guess, mental altercation because some on TikTok, there's something called Stitch, where you can take someone's video and you can lip sync it as if it's your voice. So someone took my voice and got millions of views and millions and a lot of followers, thousands of followers. And I'm sitting there like, nah, now I got to beat this guy. You know, for a while, I'm over here trying to beat this guy. He got my voice, but I'm trying to beat my own voice. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
So for a while, that was my goal. I got to beat him. I got to beat him. People got to know that that's me. And then when I passed him and I got past that, it started being more about, let me post again. Let me post again. Let me just post. This is for Allah. This is for Allah. And then I went to Instagram. I tried to move everybody to Instagram. I realized that Instagram offers more opportunities, which were fruitful for me and my family. So now I started to try to grow my Instagram. So I'm posting, taking old TikTok videos and putting them on Instagram. But when I got my Instagram to look like I wanted it to look, then it became about Bismillah, I'm posting for Allah. This is for Allah. And I'll remember, not saying that it's not that the other stuff isn't for Allah, but I will actually say Bismillah, this is for Allah. I'm doing this because this is for my akhir, right? I'm posting this post for my
You had
akhir.
to verbally say that.
Yes, like in my head,
Oh,
Bismillah,
okay.
this is for my akhir. This is for nothing else. Now I reached a point, I think for the last year, I reached a point where it's just like, whenever I post, it's just pure intention. This is for nothing else. You know, I'm not looking for nothing from this post. I just want somebody to benefit from it. I don't care how the video really looks if the quality is that great. Sometimes you'll see a video of kids reciting, and the quality might not be that great because it's like a stitch video, an edited video. And I'll post it because it's inspiring. It may inspire another child or an adult or whoever. So sometimes I'll post really good quality videos, and some won't be. But everything that I do right now is with a purpose. I'm posting it for a purpose. Whether I dealt with something in my life that made me think about that certain ayah, or whether I saw someone else doing something or not doing something which made me want to post the ayah. So like just today, I posted an ayah about obeying your parents and not saying oof, right? Because I was on the phone with my mother. And she was telling me, she was like, son, I want you to lose some more weight. And she was just going and she was talking. I'm like, okay, wow, okay, I get it, right? But you know, mothers, they keep going.
Yeah.
So, and I was patient. But after the phone conversation, I just thought of that ayah. So I went online and I just posted. You can check it after the show.
Yeah.
But I just recorded some ayahs from Surah Al-Isra talking about وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I think social media is also a reflection of yourself, how you feel. It's kind of like a resume. It's kind of like a portfolio or CV for things that you want to remember, things that are good for you. And at times you post stuff for other people. And the ultimate goal is to earn rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So you went through that phase where you did it for the attention, and then you then kind of over that in a way, and then say, look, this is for Allah. I'm
Right.
just curious to know, did you reach out to the guy that was using your voice and say, guy, can you stop? Did you do that?
I think I did reach out to him in the comment, but he never responded. But then at a point, I will go to the comment section. I saw my followers going in there and they're saying, "That's Faraj's voice. That's Dr. Faraj's voice." So at that point, I kind of calmed down.
Yeah.
We're human. We're human.
100%, 100%, yeah.
Understand TikTok. I was new to it, so I'm like, oh, this guy's trying to violate right now. But TikTok is really about that. TikTok is about taking other people's voices and acting like it's yours. TikTok is about, sharing, stitching video. That's what it's about. It's not like Instagram where it's just like, oh, let me make this perfect video. Life is glamorous. I'm reciting on the beach next to a palm tree. If I post that on TikTok, it won't do well. If I post that on Instagram, it'll do well. So they're two different platforms, and I just didn't understand TikTok at the time. So I was a bit confused, and I was kind of like competing with myself.
That's it. Yeah. Your mental health. How would you say your success on this platform have, affected you, either positively or negatively? I like to understand both sides. Like there will be down times and there'll be good times. Like how has it affected you as a person? Do you think you're better for it? Or would you advise your younger self, like 5 years from, like looking back 5 years, what would you tell yourself? Say, like knowing what you know now, what would you tell someone who would start in 5 years from now? To look, this is how it is. Like, what would you watch out for in terms of your mental health?
Can you clarify your question just a little bit?
Okay, say for instance, you post a video and it got loads of views, and then makes you kind of feel good about yourself, and then you want to do more, and then you get one negative comment, and then you forget about all the 100 positive comments you get, and then you start thinking about just one negative, you know comment on your post, and then you're happy, you're sad, you're happy. Like your mental health, how has your popularity affected your mental health as a content creator?
I think I'm wired a little bit differently. But most people, it really affects them. So when people would leave negative comments, yeah, for some reason it stands out. It just pops out. It has glitter on it, and it's Times Square. It's just the center of attention. And you see all the good comments around it, but for some reason, you're like, you want to know why. You want to know why this person said it. Is this person actually sincere, or is this person hating on me, or jealous, or what have you, right? So I would look at the comment. For instance, I in the beginning, even now, I'll make some mistakes, and they'll be like, "Brother, you said this instead of that," or like right now, I just posted a video, and I think the second ayah, I didn't say a harf really strong the way I should have said it, so it's going to sound like something else, but I know that I said that. So if someone comes on there and says, "You said this," it's not going to bother me because I know I said it. But if I honestly made a mistake, then because it's Quran, I will go ahead and fix it. I would just delete the video,
Mm,
in that instance. If someone came on and said, "Hey, man, why are you wearing this hat while you're reciting? I don't like your hat." I don't have to deal with that because the followers, my friends, the followers and family, they're going to address that. They'll take care of it. They'll come in there. Why are you so mean? Why are you being negative? I don't have to sit there and go back and forth with people who are negative. And most of these guys don't have a profile picture. They got
yeah.
a monkey up there or something. So who are you really? Like, it's either someone who doesn't follow you or someone who's following you who went and made a fake account just to say something. So I don't let that stuff bother me, to be honest. I'm the type of person, if you tell me no, I'm gonna make a yes out of it. So that's what drives me. Alhamdulillah.
That's you. What will you tell someone who wants to do what you're doing, how to prepare themselves mentally?
Know why. Know why. So when you do get lost, when you do lose your intention, you always can go back to that why, and it will set you straight. At the end of the day, I feel like if you have a why, it'll help you with everything that you're doing in life. Why did I go to dental school? My why was to prove to myself that I can accomplish something that people thought I would never accomplish. So that when my daughter or my son comes to me and says, Dad, I don't know how to do it. I can't do it. I'm too stupid. I can't, whatever. I'll have the backup from what I've done in my life to be able to tell them, yes, you can. Go and do it. And it won't be fake because I done took on a challenge that was so hard and I accomplished it. Now, if I would have gave up on my dream, right, telling my son or telling my daughter, yeah, they can do it, I wouldn't really believe that in my head. You know what I'm saying? So
100%, yeah.
yeah, so I feel like that's why it's good to have a why.
Close to 3 million followers across TikTok and Instagram. How do you remain authentic? How do you, like, I know, yeah, you know your why, but how, like, does it get to you, your authenticity? Like, how do you maintain it? Like, with those eyes on your content, how are you able to remain yourself?
Um, when you say remain yourself, are you talking about remain myself on social media or off social media?
I have 3 million people that's going to look at what I'm going to post now. Do I need to change the picture behind me? Do I need to clean this seat? Like, do I need to change my clothes? Like, how do you remain you're very comfortable? I mean, how do you make sure you're very comfortable and you're just who you are on camera, off camera? Like, do you have a persona when the camera is on and then you're somebody different when the camera is off? Like, is this you? If this camera is off, will I still be talking to the same version of Faraj?
You'll be talking to the same version, but I won't have this hat on my head. um, yeah, so I feel like I'm the same person on and off camera. Like right now, I'm speaking to you. I'm trying to speak as properly as possible. I like to speak in slang. It's just easy for me.
Yeah.
But this is an interview, so I'm trying to be as professional as possible. And you know, when I came to this medical college, I had this idea in my head that, man, we're all doctors, and everybody on this campus is going to be talking like they go to Harvard, right? Just Shakespeare. How you
Mm.
doing, sir? How was class today? Yep, you know. But no, everybody was just themselves, and it kind of blew me away for a minute. I'm like, we're in medical school, and they just talking with slang, like they just, you know, they're in the hood, you know. But this is a black college. This is a HBCU. Um, most, I would say, 95% of the students that go here are black. You know, and nobody is going to change themselves um, just to fit that ideology of how a doctor is supposed to speak all day. Like if you're in front of a patient, yeah, you know, you go in there, you speak in nice, clear words. You don't even have to change. Uh, even though you speak properly, sometimes it still sounds like it's hood a bit, right? Because of just the bass in our voice as black people.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once I saw that, I felt like that helped me even with social media, right? I am who I am. Everybody's not going to like me. Even if I change myself, there's somebody out there that's not going to like that. It's going to be somebody, oh, he think he's so perfect. He got to speak, you know, he's black, but he's speaking like he's a white boy, you know, like, you know, so just be who you are. I feel like if you be who you are, it's kind of like lying. If you lie, you got to keep on lying.
Yeah.
You got to keep on lying. But if you're true, you're done. You just say it one time, and it's always going to come back to the truth. So when I'm online, most of my content is Quran anyway.
Yeah.
right? So it's pretty it's easy. I just turn on the camera and just recite Quran. I'm not really talking much. So I would say it's easy for me, right?
Yeah.
I am who I am on the online, and I am who I am offline. I'm going to speak the same way whether you're sitting on my couch or sitting like we are, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
from your couch in Ireland.
Yeah. You mentioned something earlier around, people who come under your comment section and then say whatever they want to say, especially when it makes no sense. You have people who will, take care of that for you. But then like, what would you say to someone who is just a fresh content creator who is not as experienced as yourself and who doesn't have people to speak up for him or her? How would you advise such person to deal with cyberbullying?
Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Um, just keep on doing what you're doing. They're gonna come. Sometimes when people hate on you, if it's just empty, if you can't figure out why that person left a comment, if it just doesn't make sense to you and it's really bothering you, sometimes it's just hate, you know. And you can look at hate. Most haters come around when you're doing good. When you're doing something positive, people always got something to say about it. So yeah, I think if you look at it in that way, you'll be okay. But it's not good if you just have negative comments all day. Most of your most of your section is negative. Then maybe you need to reevaluate what you're doing. But if you got more positive than negative, more people are supporting what you're doing, um, then inshallah you're gonna be okay.
You're doing good on social media in terms of what you post on there because of the intention and because of the content itself. How do you advise the youngsters who, like, we can't listen to 10-minute videos anymore, like 2 minute, 1 minute, and fine like that? So, and then I say, like inside there, that loads of things that you will encounter before you find the right one. Say, unless I'm actually following you. If I'm not following you, I probably see like 10, 20 things that I wouldn't want to see before I get to you. What's
Right.
your advice for people who doesn't want to? Like, it's good, it's there, like you can get it on the go, but then still, how do I save myself or my dean from those explicit content, so to speak?
Um, well, Instagram is kind of hard. I feel like with TikTok it's easier because on TikTok you have a friend section, like at the top, it say I think it says followers and for you page. Now the for you page, you're gonna see just a bunch of random stuff, right? And then sometimes what the people that you do follow will pop up in that section as well. But the friends that you follow are you can really filter that out because listen, if I follow, I don't know, Mufti Menk, for instance, I know that he always posts good videos. If I follow a Quran recited, maybe on Abdul Basit Abdul Samad, right, then I know it's going to be all Quran content. But if I follow someone that's just posting one day Quran, one day music, one day this, one day that, then you're going to see that, and that may or may not affect you. I feel like YouTube is probably one of the best platforms where you can filter out things because videos will keep playing, but they will keep playing the same type of video because of the algorithm.
Mm.
Um, and YouTube is more like a place where you go actually searching for something. You're purposely going there to learn how to wear a thobe the right way. But on Instagram, you're just scrolling and you may see a video about a thobe and you're like, oh, it's nice, like it. You know, you're just on there just for random ideas, random things to see. Some people do look up hashtags. Some people do search, but I don't feel like Instagram is that type of platform, at least for me. Like I don't go on Instagram looking for how to speak Spanish. I'll
Mm.
go to YouTube for that.
Yeah.
I'll go on Instagram if I'm looking for a good restaurant and I know the name of the restaurant and I want to see their food. So I'll just look at, I don't know, uh, for instance, Cheesecake Factory, and I'll look at their menu and I'm like, okay, that looks good. I guess we're going to Cheesecake Factory tonight. Yeah.
Doctor, list 5 things, top of your head right now, that genuinely make you happy.
5 things. Um, I think having some funds in the bank where it's not living paycheck to paycheck. When you have to worry about money, it's very worrisome because you just don't know what can happen. Emergencies happen, and I don't want to be in a position where I have to ask someone um, because I was once, and it's not a good thing. Especially, and I was a younger man at that point. But at this point, as a family man, I feel like if to me anyway, it just feels unacceptable. You should be able to take care of yourself and your family without asking anybody. So as long as I got some money in my account, I feel like that's one of the things that make me happy. Um, as long as um, like I'm able to, how do I say this? As long as I feel like I can hear those voices in my head where it's like Allah's calling me to make salah or pick up the Quran or um, do something good of to give zakah, or just I don't know anything. Call a friend and advise them or something. As long as I get those voices, more of those voices instead of bad voices, then I'm happy. Um, Security, being safe, um, just seeing my family happy, seeing my daughter smile, um, being healthy. I feel like those are the top
Yeah.
hierarchy of.
Yeah.
I think there's a hierarchy for that, and I think I kind of mentioned it.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't really matter. Why I asked that question was actually a very tricky question because I was expecting you to mention your 3 million or close to 3 million followers on Instagram, on TikTok put together. Like, does they give you 3 million followers? Is he a source of happiness for you?
Uh, no, it's like if it was to be taken away today, if I was to lose all my accounts today, yeah, I'll be upset for a little while because I worked so hard on building that platform. Um, but I know it's not something that I can't attain again or get again because I was authentic. It's not something that I had to fake to be or I had to do something that I wasn't supposed to do to get. It was authentic. So yeah, it'll suck and it'll probably take a while to get back to that point. But I don't think that's a source of happiness for me, waking up just like, oh, I got a million followers. Because it really does, for me as a Quran content creator, it's not like being let's say like a fitness content creator or a foodie, for example, right? It's, and I say that in a way where if we're talking about like income from social media, it doesn't pay much to be a Quran content creator unless you're probably getting invited to, I guess, openings for weddings and dean shows and stuff, which I don't get much often. Um, but I wouldn't say it's, for me at least, I don't feel like it's a lucrative thing. So I don't think it would hurt me that much because it wouldn't be taking away much from my financial stability. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it would be like, man, where where did all my work go? I wish I could have saved it somewhere else in the cloud somewhere. I wish I had something to show for it. Or maybe I wish I had my own website where I can maybe use that as an example to show my kids one day, listen, this is what I did during college. Um, you know, that's probably that probably would be upsetting, but I don't think it would break me down. I'll be depressed, like, oh man, I lost 3 million followers.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll,
yeah.
I'll
That's
get
you
it.
get over. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that. I intentionally asked that because I wanted to like see if you're gonna mention it, because I think it goes back to what you said, knowing your why. I post videos once in a while as well. I mean, I try to make it every week now, but I still struggle with my intention, because sometimes I will be tempted to boost the video, and I'll be like, why do I have to boost it? If Allah, it will get to whoever Allah wants to say it. Like, and then someone will tell me, but it's dawah. There's nothing wrong in propagating dawah. But I say, yeah, that's right, but I'm still struggling to tell myself that's the reason I'm doing it. Because if I'm kind of, if I'm honest to say, like, I'm just doing it for dawah, like, I'm not checking how many followers do I have now, like, then I can do it. But like, I still cannot tell myself that that's not the reason I'm boosting it, like, so I think the intention really matters, and that's what's really going to keep you sane, I guess. So now, you are a doctor. How has Islam helped you? To you, like, one of the things I struggle with the youngsters in my community is that I don't read Quran as a textbook. So why do I need Quran? I don't need Allah. There's a friend of mine who actually says there is no God, and he's actually one of the best students in my class. So why do I need Islam? How has Islam helped you, Dr. Faraj?
Islam is everything. Like Islam, I'll be nowhere without Islam. Nowhere. Islam gives me faith. It allows me to believe, and Islam gives you a sense of uh, Nina. How do I say that? Like a sense of comfort in your heart. It's kind of like Surah Shab. You know that after hardship comes ease. You know, that's the life of the Muslim. Hardship ease, hardship ease. I'm afraid when things are just good all the time. I'm afraid when uh nothing, like when it's just good all the time. I'm like, what's going on? Allah's not testing me right now. Allah tests who He loves. So when I'm not tested, which I'm always tested, I'm like, okay, maybe Allah doesn't love me right now. Maybe He's giving me too much dunya. You know, um, so it's, Islam is just Islam is so beautiful because it's just a way of life. Like it teaches you all the things that you need to know to be a successful human being. And yeah, things may not be going the way I want them at the time, but sometimes in calamity and mishaps, there's a lesson to strengthen your character. And if you take it the right way, it can help you when you're faced with something that similarity in the future. I felt like I had to relearn Islam on my own too, because sometimes how our parents teach us Islam can turn you off. I remember, growing up, and it's like, go to the masjid I pray at, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. And you're like, but why? You just telling me this, Abby, but why? You know? And sometimes if you live this life without the why, you kind of just like, all right, well, I might as well just go do something else because you don't know why. That's why I say why is very important. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, then why would you continue doing what you're doing? You can go off to any path that you want to. So I wanted to know why it's that, right? So I read about the Prophet myself. I read about all the prophets myself. I alayhim salam. Um, I Every prophet, and these are the most beloved people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they went through some of the most harsh conditions. Prophets had leprosy. Prophets was stoned. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam
So,
was
so
stoned when he's walking, trying to get to Medina. Like what? Like, and you're complaining about these little issues that you have. You know what I'm saying? What is wrong with that? So I feel like if you actually look at Islam, study the prophets, study the companions, and look at their trials, look at their tribulations, you'll really see that it wasn't easy for them. It wasn't. But you'll see that at the end, Allah gave them victory. All of them. They all come out victorious at the end. You know, and it teaches you resilience. You know, it teaches you resilience. And there's so much that you can learn from the prophets. That's why I love Islam. I can always find an answer in Islam. And there's always someone out there that can help you find that answer in Islam. So that's why I hope I answered your question.
100%, because what I hear you say then is that Islam is not, it's not just for this dunya. Like, yes, you find answers in the stories of the prophet, you find comfort in the promises of Allah. But then at the end of the day, it's not just about this dunya as a Muslim. So it's way, way more than that. You don't need Quran to become a doctor, yes, but Quran will make you a responsible doctor, is conscious of Allah, than, just being someone who is just living life as if he's blind. And I think what's profound in what you say there is that I think there is a gap in the knowledge of Islam. The way we were brought up, the way we were taught Islam is just command and do. Go do it and then you go do it. But there's this generation and they are asking for answers. And I think, in my opinion, I've said this before on this show, I think we're losing the great minds now because they are different than us. They are not the type that can just tell go do something. They want to they want to know why. And once we are able to convince them as to the why, no one will be able to take them away from Islam. But it's difficult now for us to explain to them because that was not how we were taught. And we would think they were challenging us when they ask why. But like, just go pray. Why are you asking me why? You
We
know?
don't really know why. We
Yeah.
don't. Just listen. And
And we
let me tell you why it works. I grew up in Egypt, right? If my father said, go suddenly, go pray, I will go pray. And guess what? Muhammad next door is going to pray. Ibrahim next door is going to pray. And nobody know why, but we all going to pray. It's a cultural thing. It's not a cultural thing, but it's just a thing that we're all doing, and we don't know why, right? Then Faraj goes to America. Now, Faraj has a son or a daughter, and he's telling her, go pray. Go to the masjid. Go to the masjid. But there's no other kids. There's no Ibrahim and Muhammad running along with my children going to the masjid. Now they got Michael across the street talking about, nah, man, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. And then you got Michael, Sam up the street like, yeah, man, I'm going to just drink this alcohol. So there's nothing in society, or especially in the West, that can kind of, what's the word?
encourage.
Encourage or something for the kids to copy off.
Mm.
Kids, they want to copy off of something.
Yeah, exactly. And
They
that's
don't
what we
have
struggle with. Yeah.
this where they can just go out there and just mold themselves. They need something that they can relate to. So if there's no community where they have relatable things, well, they're always going to be something relatable. But where they don't have Islamic relatable behaviors and Islamic relatable clothing and Islamic relatable classes in the mess, just there's nothing out there for the kids.
Mm.
Guess what? They're looking at Billy. They're looking at Michael. They're gonna do what Michael doing because they just feel like that's what it's it. That's what it is.
100%. And you're
That's
very
what I
spot
think the
on.
gap is. There's a gap between my dad telling me to do it, and I don't know why. And then when I tell my kid to do it, and I can't tell him why. I just say, well, I did it because my father told me to do it, and I saw other kids doing it. But they don't have no point of reference other
Yeah.
than me telling them to do it.
I mean, 100%, 100%. You're so correct because, you know, you're not just talking to your kids these days in this environment. You're talking to like 10 friends of his that telling him stuff in school to say, why are your parents letting you do this? Why, like, they come home and tell you, why are you like, that kind of a thing. So you're not just struggling against your children, you're struggling against the community because what you're trying to teach them or the part you're trying to ask them to toe is different from what they're being told or what they're seeing outside. So, and it's really a struggle. Yeah, look, to kind of we're kind of wind it up. Okay, so I know you have daddy duties and everything. So I'll try and make it quick. So you are in Gambia. How does that change your outlook to life? What's your experience like?
When I first went to Gambia, it hit me hard the first time. You know, hearing about the slave trade and crossing that those waters, going back over those shores to get to the airport to land in Gambia, um, really, really affected me. And I was in tears on the plane. Um, just thinking about, man, the journey that we took to get here, and now that I'm coming back here to help people on a land where I was once stolen from. I'm not saying that I'm from Gambia or anything, but um, to help people who are my people was just so so great, so heartwarming, so purposeful, you know. Um, so I felt like I had a duty, like I felt like that was my calling. Like even in my the link in my bio, I put I am the orphans ambassador. I think that's what I put there. Hold on a second. Uh, the orphans advocate. Because when I saw those kids, just like, man, these kids were just on the street, and these organizations, an organization I was working for, took them in and gave them everything, right? And these kids need constant help. It's not just 1 year you donate. What about the next year? So I'm like, all right, these are like my little brothers. I'm going to make sure that they get money every year. Every Ramadan, we're going to raise money for them. Every opportunity we get, we're going to raise money for them. So I feel like that's a duty. I feel like that's my responsibility as a content creator. Where, yeah, I started it to just start spreading Quran, but along the journey, I picked up other obligations. Well, other obligations that I feel like an obligation. Um, Another thing is being wasteful. Um, it's different over there. They eat different. They finish everything. Uh, most places don't have refrigerators, you know, so there's no waste. The waste is not like we waste here in the United States. Um, so I began being more conscious of how I eat, and then it takes you back to the hadiths and the Islamic teachings on how we should eat and how you should eat this much, food, this much water, and the rest for air. It just everything was just it took me back to my childhood references, the things that my parents taught me, and seeing it for myself in real life, in real time. So those are the three things that I learned from being in Gambia.
Good. What's gonna be your pattern message to a youngster who is looking up to Dr. Faraj Hasan to say, I also want to do that, and I want to be popular, because it's hard to tell a kid not to want to be popular, to say, yeah, I want to do it. What's going to be your advice? Say your son wants to say, Dad, I want to do what you're doing. I know you've told them know your why, but it's different when the rubber meets the road. Like, what's going to be a pattern message to a young Dr. Faraj that is somewhere who is also, starting out?
Um, I don't think I ever wanted to be famous. It just happened, right? And I'm not really. I don't think like if I walk outside, it's gonna be like Dr. Faraj. It's not like that. Um, it's more like that on social media. So just starting off wanting to be famous, um, there's pros and cons to that. If I could just, I guess, spread the Quran some way without people really know who I am, I would actually like that.
Would you do
Um,
that today? Would you
huh?
read Quran where no one knows you, where you won't
I
get a
think
like or comment?
if I was to do it again as a doctor,
Yeah.
if I could do it over again, I probably would just post without showing my face. I feel like that would actually, I guess not. I said that maybe could help my attentions, but still, you still could get likes and views on your content without your face on there. So, but I just feel like when I'm walking in the street, nobody will really know who I am. I'm sure people see me and they're like, "Oh, that's the guy from Instagram." And I have people that walk up to me. If I go to a masjid, most likely some people in the masjid know who I am, especially because Tarawih in Times Square. I feel like that's what really did it. Um, but there's really nothing to it, young guys, young girls. There's really nothing to it because at the end of the day, you're famous. Okay, now what? Someone's gonna come up to you and want to take a picture, and you give them a signature. Like, what are you getting out of that? For me, it's just like, okay, I'm nobody. I'm just a regular person. Um, it doesn't really get to me like that. It's nice to be respected. It's nice to get invited to places and get priority and stuff like that. But just to be famous just for some likes and some pictures and what have you is really not my 2 cents. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you very
It's
much.
really not it's really not that hyped up as what you think it is. Like you're like,
Yeah.
man, somebody will exchange handles on Instagram, right? And if, man, you got all these followers. I'm like, yeah. I really wish I didn't have that
But,
many right now.
but,
Like it's kind of awkward. Like,
but did you feel like that? There was this time you were actually working hard to get those numbers. Did you get to this realization, having have those follower, and then feel like it's actually nothing? Like you wanted those followership when you started out, but having it now, it isn't making much of a difference. You're coming to that realization now, right?
yeah, because it's not about just having followers. Like that's not it. It's what comes with it. So like, if I start a business and I got 10,000 followers, the amount of customers that I probably would get will be a little higher because they see that there's already a bunch of people following me. It's not about the likes or the comments. It's the more likes you get, the further this video is going to get to other people in the world. Because it's kind of like a like is kind of like this. That's what a like is. It's just
Yeah,
getting your content out there, and the less likes you get, the more it's just going to stay stagnant.
yeah,
So the more people like it, the more it's going everywhere.
yeah, yeah,
So that's what a like does, really. You know, and then the more you interact with the people that's leaving comments, the more it go in more places. The more people
yeah,
want to follow, the more people feel connected to you. But other than that, it's just there because when I go on my page right now, it's not like I log on and everybody, the million followers that's following me, they're like, "Hey, Dr. Faraj, they keep on logging in." It's not like that, you know. It's not like I'm Denzel Washington. That's a
yeah,
different type. That's different. Denzel walk down the street, they know it's Denzel,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
won't want that for sure. I won't want
You
that for
wouldn't
sure.
know. uh, well, it's just one thing that I know, and that I believe you know as well, that the youngsters, even the adults these days struggle with, and people really feel depressed when they don't get a comment or when they don't get a likes. I've actually had cases where people had to delete a post because they didn't get much traction as they would expect, and they repost it and then ask people to go look it up and click like and comment. It's a psychological thing, and then and I wouldn't want you to stress it, because like a mental health doctor. So whatever we're saying here is because you are living that life, so you're just talking from experience, not a medical advice. You know what I mean? But I think there's a clinical aspect to it, to when people wanting that thing, and you just want that shot of dopamine, like they call it, like when you see the like and you see the comment. But then, in a way, if you're not really clear on your why, as you rightly said, you will easily just stray, and then it becomes you just having some sort of emotional back and forth with your phone, and then your virtual friends that didn't even know where you are, where what your name is, or whether you exist or not. You know that's a good one. So thank you so much, Dr. Faraj. It's really 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 nice having you here. But I'm not going to let you go without reciting something short and sweet for us. So if you please do us the honor to just give us something short and sweet from the Quran, inshallah, if you can, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون.
Jazakallah al-Hadim. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, brother. Thank you. Thank you so much. And my love and loads of kisses to your daughter, and my respect and regards to your family. Thank you so much. You're not going anywhere. We'll talk on WhatsApp. So I'm not gonna say goodbye. I'm just gonna say talk to you later. Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. And the reason why I recited those ayats, everything I like to do is purposeful. And I remember you saying that people want to know why. And I feel like this ayah right here, those a few ayats, can explain a lot. A lot. If you go in the Quran, there's no contradiction. Everything that you need for any avenue, any aspect of your life, you can find in the Quran. So go review those ayats. It's the first 5 ayats of Surah Al-Baqarah, and ponder on the meaning. And whatever you're going through, there's something in the Quran that can help you out. And if you can't find it in the Quran, you can find it in the Hadith. And if you don't understand the Hadith, go talk to your Sheikh and find
Mash-
another Sheikh and find another.
MashaAllah. 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 What a way to end it. What a way to end it. That was good. Thank you so much, doctor. And like I said, I'll talk to you again. MashaAllah. And until next time, guys, keep your faith in Allah. Keep talking to Allah. Even when you are sad, tell Allah you are sad. Don't run away. Don't go anywhere. Stay with Allah, and Allah will surely find a way for you. MashaAllah. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.